Uh, One thing you mentioned about detection and continuous monitoring. So Chandra, most of the customers we talk to work with, everybody you go in, you would see that they have too many tools. They have tools for um, protection, for monitoring. There are too many tools in the enterprise, right? Um, so I don't think the problem has been lacking of tools. What is the gaps you see, right? One of the classic examples, we go into a customer environment, they have like 40 plus tools, right? And they're still left out open. I have a view on it, but I want to pick your brain on this. What do you see is the crucial gap CIOs and CISOs are missing out on, or what are the things they can do even when they have too many tools and they still have some gaps?
Yeah, that's a great question. So see, the way the industry have been kind of developed, that there is a problem, people will just jump in and say, oh, I have this huge case, that huge case and all that. And all of a sudden they lose the view of the bigger kind of like overall picture. They just go into the small problems and, hey, this is what I want to solve. And then when you solve that problem, what you are doing is you are not looking into the overall kind of like impact of just solving that problem, that, hey, how much is the noise I'm going to add? How much resources I will need to run it effectively? And can I make it work effectively? So what end up happening is, now, as you mentioned, that there are most of the organization with the enterprises, they have like almost 20 to 40 tools. There are some are exception which have 200 plus tools out there. And effectively, to first of all, to make a decision, anything coming out of those and having that decision being actionable, that what you are going to do about it. So many people have to kind of go through it and make a decision to take actions on it. It becomes pretty much unactionable. That, it's like you have you might have one set of the tool, like let's say you have a network detection is telling one thing, now it has to be correlated into the other tool. It has to be correlated into your log side. You might have to look into your behavior side, and you might have to look into your email systems and identity management system. And all of a sudden you figure it out that, it's like that job has become extremely difficult. And then if you have to add the context that I saw something today, because the biggest thing is if you don't have a context, when I'm seeing something today, in this context something has been seen in the past. Whether the past is not your 1 day, 2 day, 1 month, it can be sometimes multiple months in there. That's right. If you don't have that visibility to put into the context and situational awareness, you are now going to be dealing with these thousands and thousands of alerts coming out of these your 20 or 40 different tools with their own experts looking into it. First of all, it's very hard to get those experts, find those experts in the industry in there. And every tool has its own context. So even though you have an army of the people, security experts and all that, nobody can be experts on everything. But even if you are lucky to get it, now to put the context and situational awareness using the human over the millions and sometimes billions of the events, it becomes extremely challenging. So what end up happening in the real life, you get these events, people will start saying this is not relevant, not relevant, not relevant. In the beginning, they may spend a lot of time to look at it, but then after a few days or weeks or month, they have been overwhelmed and they say, this doesn't matter because it has happened a month back and nothing came out of it, so I think it's okay. All of a sudden, that mentality starts settling in there. And now you have these tools, they have become nothing but it's like a collection tool, then taking actionable intelligence out of them and doing something about it. So then you have the breach happen in there. And if the breach happens, or you got ransomware, now people go in and just look into these tools to see if I have some evidence to see what has happened and all that in there. And that is not what you want to have, because you can have these tools. If you are not able to effectively run and get the value out of it and make them work together, it's extremely hard to kind of like have actionable intelligence to take actions on those alerts. So it's always kind of like a biggest problem, like big organizations. On one side, you feel that, oh, I'm secure because I have a lot of tools out there. I have a big security team. But at the same time, those organizations are also where the information get lost. There's nobody is able to look into the overall picture together and add a context to it and take actionable kind of like decisions on those data sets. And that is a big problem for the bigger enterprise. And smaller enterprises, they don't have those many tools, but still they got like maybe 5-10 tools. And they run into the similar issues out there because they don't have a staff to even look into each one of those tools. They might have 2-3 staff looking into across the different products, and which they cannot be expert at it. And then you go into the SME and SMBs, they don't have resources to afford those tools, and then forget about even running those effectively as well. So now they have another spectrum where they are kind of fell behind, and they don't have enough of resources to address their cybersecurity issues out there. And that's where we have done something, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk a little bit about it, that what your team and our team has been kind of talking about and what we have done together.
So